Oh my gosh, you guys, the coolest thing has happened. I have successfully been brainwashed. My mama's nightmare is coming true. I am clean. Oh my gosh, it's so awesome, right? I got a bunch of notes, of course. So, my mind used to get stuck in word loops or counting rhythms, especially when I was negatively emotionally heightened. I was nervous or anxious or overwhelmed, something like that. So I picked this up as a habit, as a coping mechanism, and an escape strategy when I was very, very young. And I maintained it for most of my lifetime. It was effective in regulating my breathing when it became erratic during times of heightened stress. It was effective in helping me to maintain emotional calm in the moment, providing me a small window of time to get to a safe place to resolve that emotion. But it was also negative in that when I was engaged in this behavior, I could completely block out everything else around me and be so focused on that repetition that I was mentally detached from everything and everyone. I could focus so deeply that I had to complete the cycle or the repetition before I could be drawn out from it. So it was effective, but not necessarily positive. So today I was reviewing a notebook, just to kind of see what notes I had made in it, where I was at with that, what I had remembered already on my own, what I needed help to remember, etc. I recommend going through notebooks periodically, because I have some very interesting things that were brought to me through this process today. So in reviewing this notebook, I was reminded of a note that I made on May the 16th, 2018, and I wrote down, break repetitive thought processes, knowing everything I just told you about coping skill. And then the next thing I wrote after that was a quote, well, a semi-quote, an assembly of a bunch of quotes from John St. Julian Baba Wanyama, and it came out to be repetitious thought prevents ascension to higher levels of consciousness. So in thinking about that, I was not able to disagree with that, and that was good. So I was able to own that as knowledge. And I think that that is right because the act of repetition prevents information access, processing, and application at all sensory inputs, because full focus is on maintaining the rhythm and flow of the ongoing repetition, which is a distraction of learning truth. But I think there's even more to it in aspects of our words. And I come back to this a lot, and I don't know why. It's a recurrent theme I seem to have about love, forgiveness, and the use of words. But it's always been something so significant in my life. Words have been very, very huge in my entire existence. I always remember words being a big deal, and love being a big deal, and forgiveness being a big deal. And that's actually something else that I found in reviewing notes. But when it comes to the use of words without intention, we come back into that possibility of accidentally harming others, accidentally casting out spells, because our words do create. We're creator beings, and the word is in itself a being, which we learned in John, I believe, 1:3. We know that the word is the counterpart of the Father, creating the equal element for creation. So the word is a being. So in using words cyclically and repetitiously, we could in fact be causing harm and maybe even potentially spell casting, because we don't really know yet enough about what's happening with the spoken word to know that we're not doing that. So just by not knowing that we're not, there's the possibility that we are, which is a little bit off-putting considering my fondness for the use of words, the proper and appropriate use of words. Which brings me to my celebration in my heart of the greatness of the brainwashing, in that today I realized I rarely do that anymore. Word repetition and counting rhythms, I don't remember the last time I did that. I'm so pleased about that, because all of those patterns that would trigger those behaviors are not there anymore. They're replaced completely with, it's all about Papa's place. I want to get home to Pops, man. I want to know the truth. Get out of here. Home to Papa. The stars are not shining bright. The moon ain't right. Time to go. So, though my brainwashing is not yet fully complete, it is well in progress, and I'm so pleased to have confirmation of this from the cycles of my own notebooks today. And then today, actually, I live confidently in my Christhood, constantly empty and seeking, free from the encumbrances of excessive ownerships, and accessible and available to Papa whenever and wherever I hear his call. And it is amazing and freeing and awesome. And when I get into rhythm patterns and cyclic repetitions in my brain now, it's something I do with intent in music or some other way of memorizing information, because I do have to use some tools due to the brain injury. So there's a new spin on brainwashing, right? Happy Friday night, y'all. I hope that you find some benefit in going back over previous works and applying them into your world now, and celebrating your growth so that you can see and own those changes and feel this swell of joy, pure joy. Just Papa's fruit tree of joy is just pounding through me right now. And it is so amazing to have these confirmations of these so important and immense growths. Please seek them out for yourself. Get these confirmations and validate that which you've learned, because I'll come to you a little bit later on something else I learned about the actual meaning of prosper and multiply. And my brain's just so happy at this brainwashing right now. It's clean. I can't think of it. I'll come back to you here in a little while. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. So, maybe this will take on a new meaning later too. Who knows, right? So embrace your mystery, find your keys, and most importantly, be love. I love y'all. This is so awesome. Oh my God.